Hollywood has always thrived on image mystery and carefully crafted fame. Yet during the 20th century, one magazine quietly changed how the world looked at movie stars. Playboy blurred the line between celebrity glamour and personal revelation. When famous actresses appeared in its pages, curiosity exploded. Suddenly, audiences were not just watching stars on screen. They were discovering a new side of Hollywood legends. Jane Mansfield. When audiences first discovered Jane Mansfield in the mid-1950s, she looked like Hollywood had created another Marilyn Monroe. Blonde hair, bright smile. A playful personality that cameras adored. But Mansfield understood something very few actresses of the era grasped. Publicity was power, and she was willing to use every tool available to become a star. So Playboy magazine quickly realized that Mansfield embodied the exact image the publication wanted to promote. She appeared in the magazine in 1955, and the photographs instantly captured attention across America. At the time, mainstream Hollywood studios still maintained strict control over the images actresses were allowed to present to the public. Mansfield ignored those limits. Her Playboy appearance helped shape her public persona as one of the boldest stars of the decade. The strategy worked brilliantly. Mansfield suddenly became one of the most talked-about actresses in entertainment. Newspapers covered her constantly. Movie producers recognized that her rising fame could draw audiences to theaters. Soon, she began appearing in films such as The Girl Can't Help It and Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter? For Mansfield, the Playboy connection was not simply about controversy. It represented a shift in how actresses could control their own publicity. Instead of relying solely on studio promotion, she created her own brand of celebrity. By the late 1950s, Jane Mansfield had become one of the most recognizable figures in Hollywood. Her image traveled across magazines, posters, and television appearances. The bold move that once shocked conservative audiences ultimately turned her into a cultural phenomenon that defined the era. Mamie Van Doren. Mamie Van Doren entered Hollywood during a time when the industry was searching desperately for the next glamorous sensation. Studios had already created major stars such as Marilyn Monroe and Jane Mansfield. Van Doren represented the third figure in what journalists often called the blonde bombshell trio of the 1950s. Unlike many actresses who feared controversy, Van Doren embraced attention with confidence. When she appeared in Playboy in 1958, the photographs reflected a playful, rebellious energy that matched the changing culture of the time. America was entering a new decade, and traditional ideas about celebrity were beginning to shift. Van Doren understood that Playboy offered something unique. The magazine reached millions of readers who were fascinated by Hollywood glamour, but also curious about the personalities behind the movie screen. Appearing in its pages allowed actresses to present themselves outside the strict control of the studio publicity departments. For Van Doren, the result was instant notoriety. Her bold image became associated with youth culture, rock and roll, and the rebellious spirit of the late 1950s. She appeared in films such as High School Confidential and Girls Town, which capitalized on her growing popularity. More importantly, Van Doren demonstrated that actresses could step outside traditional Hollywood expectations and still build successful careers. While some critics complained that such appearances damaged an actress' reputation, Van Doren proved the opposite could happen. Her association with Playboy cemented her status as one of the era's most memorable pop culture icons. Decades later, she remains a symbol of the fearless publicity strategies that transformed Hollywood during the 1950s. Barbi Benton. By the early 1970s, Playboy had become far more than a magazine. It was a cultural empire that included television specials, music events, and an entire lifestyle brand. At the center of this world stood Barbi Benton. Benton first gained attention when she began appearing on the television series Hee Haw. Her cheerful personality and natural charisma quickly made her a favorite with audiences. Yet it was her connection with Playboy founder Hugh Hefner that placed her directly at the heart of the magazine influence. Benton appeared in Playboy numerous times throughout the 1970s. Each appearance generated enormous publicity and helped expand her fame far beyond television. Readers recognized her instantly, and she became one of the most familiar faces associated with the Playboy brand. But Benton was far more than a magazine personality. She pursued acting roles and recorded country music albums that reached the charts. Her ability to move between entertainment worlds made her a unique figure within the Playboy universe. During this period, Playboy itself was evolving from a controversial publication into a mainstream cultural institution. Celebrities, musicians, and actors regularly appeared in its pages. Benton represented this transformation perfectly. She embodied the glamorous lifestyle the magazine promoted. Through the 1970s, Barbi Benton remained one of Playboy's most recognizable stars. Her appearances helped define the magazine golden era, while also launching a career that extended across television, music, and film. Marilyn Monroe. Few stories in Hollywood history are as intertwined with Playboy as the rise of Marilyn Monroe. Long before she became the defining star of classic Hollywood glamour, Monroe was a struggling young actress trying to find work in a ruthless industry. Like many newcomers, she accepted modeling jobs simply to survive. In 1953, Hugh Hefner launched the very first issue of Playboy magazine. Instead of photographing a new model, he purchased a set of calendar photographs that had been taken of Monroe several years earlier. Those images became the centerpiece of the debut issue. Hefner printed Monroe on the cover, even though she had never officially posed for Playboy itself. The gamble changed both of their lives forever. The first issue sold more than 50,000 copies and immediately established Playboy as a powerful new force in publishing. Readers across America were fascinated by the charismatic actress whose photographs appeared in its pages. For Monroe, the impact was complicated. At first, she feared the revelation of those photographs might destroy her career. Hollywood studios had strict expectations about public image. But instead of scandal, the photographs helped create the mysterious and alluring persona that would define her future. Soon, Monroe began starring in films such as Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and The 7-Year Itch. Her image became one of the most recognizable in the world. The association with Playboy remained part of her legend, even though the photos were taken before her rise to fame. Today, Monroe and Playboy remain permanently linked through that historic first issue, and it launched a magazine empire and helped cement the myth of Hollywood's most iconic star. Raquel Welch. When Raquel Welch emerged in Hollywood during the 1960s, she represented a new kind of international movie star. Her breakthrough performance in 1,000,000 Years BC instantly made her one of the most recognizable actresses on the planet. That famous fur bikini poster became a cultural phenomenon that hung on bedroom walls across the world. Yet Welch was determined to prove she was more than simply a glamorous image. She pursued acting roles in adventure films, historical epics, and comedies that demonstrated her versatility. Still, the public fascination with her beauty remained impossible to ignore. Playboy magazine recognized this fascination and frequently featured Welch in pictorials and interviews throughout her career. Unlike many performers who worried about how such appearances might affect their reputation, Welch approached the magazine with confidence and control. The photographs celebrated her striking screen presence while reinforcing the global image that had made her famous. During the late 1960s and 70s, Welch continued appearing in major films, including Fantastic Voyage and The Three Musketeers. Audiences admired not only her looks, but also her determination to challenge Hollywood stereotypes. Her connection with Playboy helped expand her cultural influence far beyond the movie theater. The magazine allowed readers to see a different side of the star. Interviews revealed her intelligence, ambition, and fierce independence within an industry often dominated by powerful studios. Over time, Raquel Welch became far more than a poster icon. She evolved into a respected performer and businesswoman whose name remains synonymous with classic Hollywood glamour for decades. Ann-Margret. Ann-Margret exploded onto the Hollywood scene with an energy that felt completely different from the traditional studio star. When audiences first saw her in films such as Bye Bye Birdie, they immediately recognized something unique. She possessed a vibrant combination of charisma, humor, and musical talent that made her impossible to ignore. During the early 1960s, Ann-Margret became closely associated with the youthful spirit of rock and roll cinema. Her performances often captured the excitement of a generation experiencing cultural change. Yet she also proved capable of dramatic roles that revealed deeper emotional range. Playboy magazine soon began featuring Ann-Margret in interviews and photographic spreads that highlighted her growing popularity. The magazine recognized that she represented the evolving image of modern Hollywood actresses. She was glamorous, yet approachable, confident, yet playful. Her association with the publication helped broaden her appeal among adult audiences, while she continued starring in major studio productions. Films such as Viva Las Vegas, opposite Elvis Presley, cemented her reputation as one of the most exciting performers of the decade. Ann-Margret continued building an extraordinary career that extended across film, television, and live performance. She earned multiple award nominations and maintained an enduring fan base for generations. The connection with Playboy became part of the larger narrative of her career. It demonstrated how the magazine had become an influential platform for Hollywood celebrities who wanted to shape their public image beyond traditional studio publicity. Sharon Tate. Sharon Tate's story remains one of the most haunting in Hollywood history. During the late 1960s, she appeared destined to become one of the industry's brightest young stars. Her beauty screen presence and gentle charisma captivated audiences almost immediately. Tate began her career with small television appearances before landing film roles that gradually introduced her to wider audiences. Movies such as Valley of the Dolls and The Fearless Vampire Killers revealed her talent for both drama and comedy. Playboy magazine recognized her growing popularity and featured Tate in one of its pictorials during the late 1960s. The photographs captured the elegance and natural charm that had already begun turning her into a rising Hollywood icon. For Tate, the exposure represented another step toward international fame. She was becoming a regular presence in magazines, movie premieres, and television interviews. Critics predicted a long and successful career ahead. Tragically, her life was cut short in 1969 in one of the most shocking crimes Hollywood had ever experienced. The murder of Sharon Tate stunned the entertainment industry and marked a dark turning point in cultural history. Today, the images that appeared in Playboy remain part of the brief, yet luminous legacy she left behind. They preserve the memory of a young actress whose career promised greatness before it was tragically interrupted. Farrah Fawcett. When Farrah Fawcett first appeared on television during the 1970s, she quickly became a cultural sensation. Her dazzling smile, feathered hairstyle, and magnetic personality turned her into one of the most recognizable women in the world. The television series, Charlie's Angels, launched Fawcett into international superstardom almost overnight. Audiences were captivated by her portrayal of Jill Monroe, and the show became a massive ratings success. Around the same time, Playboy featured Fawcett in a pictorial that generated enormous public interest. Nes fans were eager to learn more about the actress who had suddenly become the symbol of 70s pop culture. The magazine appearance coincided with the release of what would become one of the most famous posters in history. The red swimsuit photograph of Fawcett sold millions of copies and cemented her status as an international icon. Despite the overwhelming attention surrounding her image, Fawcett continued striving for serious acting roles. She later appeared in dramatic television films that demonstrated her range and earned critical acclaim. Her connection with Playboy reflected the enormous public fascination with her celebrity during that era. Yet Farrah Fawcett ultimately proved she was far more than a glamorous symbol of the decade. She became a respected actress whose influence on television history remains undeniable. Lynda Carter. When Lynda Carter first stepped into the role of Wonder Woman, she instantly became one of the most beloved television stars of the 1970s. Her performance brought elegance, strength, and charisma to a character who quickly became a cultural symbol of heroism and confidence. Millions of viewers tuned in every week to watch the adventures of the Amazonian warrior. But Carter's rise to fame had already begun before the series reached television screens. After winning the Miss World USA title, she moved into acting and music, where her natural presence quickly attracted attention. Producers recognized that she possessed a rare combination of classic beauty and commanding screen presence. Playboy magazine soon featured Carter in interviews and photographic spreads that highlighted her growing popularity. The magazine was fascinated by actresses who represented a new generation of confident women in entertainment, and Carter perfectly embodied that image. Her appearance in the magazine helped expand her recognition far beyond the television audience. Despite the intense public attention, Carter remained focused on developing a lasting career. She continued acting in films, television specials, and later concerts where she showcased her singing talent. Her ability to balance glamour with professionalism helped maintain her reputation as one of the most admired stars of the era. Decades later, Lynda Carter still represents the enduring legacy of Wonder Woman and the cultural impact of 1970s television. Her connection with Playboy reflected the moment when the magazine became an influential platform for celebrating the personalities behind the characters audiences loved. Bo Derek. Bo Derek became one of the defining screen sensations of the late 1970s and early 80s. When audiences first saw her running along the beach in the film 10, the image instantly became one of the most iconic scenes in modern cinema. Her braided hairstyle and effortless confidence captured the imagination of millions of viewers. Before that breakthrough moment, Derek had already begun building a reputation as a rising actress and model. Hollywood recognized that she possessed a distinctive look that stood apart from many performers of the era. Her presence on screen carried a mixture of mystery and glamour that audiences found irresistible. Playboy magazine quickly realized that Derek represented the type of star readers were eager to discover. The magazine featured her in pictorials that celebrated her growing fame and reinforced the fascination surrounding her public image. The photographs appeared during a period when Playboy had become deeply connected to celebrity culture. For Derek, the exposure expanded her audience far beyond movie theaters. Fans who admired her performances could now see interviews and photographs that revealed more about her personality and life in Hollywood. The magazine often served as a bridge between stars and the public curiosity that surrounded them. Although Derek continued acting in films throughout the following decades, she remained forever linked to the moment when she first captured global attention. Her association with Playboy formed part of that era, when Hollywood glamour and magazine culture combined to create unforgettable celebrity icons. Claudia Jennings. Claudia Jennings represents one of the most fascinating crossovers between Playboy and Hollywood cinema. Her story began when she was discovered by the magazine and became one of its most celebrated playmates. Readers quickly noticed her warm personality and striking appearance, which helped her stand out among the many models featured during that era. And after gaining national attention, Jennings transitioned into acting, where she found opportunities in a variety of films during the early 1970s. Producers recognized that her popularity with Playboy readers could translate into movie audiences as well. She began appearing in action films, thrillers, and comedies that showcased her charisma on screen. Playboy played an important role in launching that transition. The magazine frequently promoted playmates who demonstrated potential in entertainment careers, and Jennings became one of the most successful examples of that path. Her appearances helped build a loyal fan base that followed her into cinema. Throughout the decade, Jennings appeared in several films that developed a devoted cult following among audiences. She brought enthusiasm and natural charm to her performances, which made her memorable, even in smaller roles. Although her career was tragically cut short, her connection with Playboy and Hollywood continues to intrigue film historians today. Jennings remains an example of how the magazine sometimes served as a launching platform for performers seeking opportunities within the film industry. Margot Kidder. Margot Kidder entered Hollywood with an unconventional energy that immediately separated her from many actresses of the era. She possessed a lively spirit, sharp wit, and fearless attitude that brought a refreshing authenticity to her performances. Her most famous role arrived when she portrayed Lois Lane in the groundbreaking superhero film Superman. The movie introduced a new generation to the iconic comic book hero, while Kidder's portrayal of the determined journalist became one of the most beloved interpretations of the character. During the height of her fame, Playboy magazine featured Kidder in a pictorial that generated enormous discussion among fans. Readers were fascinated by the chance to see a different side of the actress, who had captured their attention on screen. The appearance highlighted her playful personality and confidence. Kidder never fit comfortably within the rigid expectations of Hollywood celebrity. She often spoke openly about the challenges of the industry and the pressures placed on performers. Her honesty and independence earned respect from many fans who admired her authenticity. Although her career experienced both triumphs and struggles, Kidder remained deeply connected to the legacy of the Superman films. Her association with Playboy became part of the broader story of an actress who refused to follow the predictable path often expected of Hollywood stars. Joan Collins. Joan Collins built one of the most remarkable careers in entertainment history. Beginning as a young actress in British cinema, she quickly gained attention for her dramatic talent and striking screen presence. Hollywood soon invited her to appear in films where she developed a reputation for playing powerful, glamorous characters. Although Collins had already achieved success in movies, her fame reached new heights when she later starred in the television series Dynasty. Her portrayal of Alexis Carrington created one of the most memorable characters in television history. Audiences were fascinated by the sharp wit, elegance, and dramatic intensity she brought to the role. Playboy magazine recognized that Collins represented a rare combination of classic Hollywood glamour and enduring popularity. When she appeared in the magazine, the photographs surprised many readers because they showed a confident actress embracing her public image at a stage when many performers might have retreated from the spotlight. The pictorial became a cultural moment that demonstrated how Collins continued to challenge expectations throughout her career. Instead of fading from public attention, she reintroduced herself to a new generation of audiences. Joan Collins ultimately became one of the longest-lasting icons of international entertainment. Her connection with Playboy illustrated how established stars sometimes use the magazine to redefine their image and remind audiences of their enduring charisma. Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn entered Hollywood with a personality that instantly felt different from the traditional movie star image. Instead of projecting distant glamour, she radiated warmth, humor, and spontaneity. Audiences felt as though they were watching someone completely genuine. That authenticity quickly made her one of the most beloved performers of her generation. Her breakthrough came on the television comedy program Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. The show introduced Hawn to millions of viewers who were captivated by her playful energy and comedic timing. Yet she soon transitioned into film, where she proved that her talents extended far beyond sketch comedy. During the early years of her rising fame, Playboy magazine featured Goldie Hawn in a pictorial that reflected the fascination surrounding her sudden popularity. Readers were curious about the actress whose personality seemed so refreshing and approachable compared to many traditional Hollywood stars. The magazine highlighted her natural charm and the unique charisma that had made her famous. Yet Hawn quickly demonstrated that she was not simply a television personality enjoying a moment of fame. Her performance in the film Cactus Flower earned her an Academy Award and established her as a serious actress capable of dramatic as well as comedic roles. Hollywood producers soon recognized that she possessed extraordinary versatility. Throughout the following decades, Goldie Hawn appeared in numerous successful films, including Private Benjamin and Overboard. Her performances combined humor, emotion, and intelligence in ways that audiences continued to admire. The connection with Playboy represented only one chapter in a career that ultimately defined modern screen comedy. Even today, Hawn remains one of the most recognizable figures in Hollywood history. Her ability to evolve from television comedian to award-winning film star illustrates the remarkable journey that began when audiences first discovered her infectious energy. Barbara Bach. Barbara Bach became internationally famous when she appeared as Anya Amasova in the James Bond adventure The Spy Who Loved Me. The film introduced audiences to a confident and intelligent Bond ally whose presence matched the scale and excitement of the series itself. Bach's performance quickly turned her into a recognizable figure across global cinema. Before that breakthrough, she had already worked as a successful fashion model and actress in European films. Her elegant appearance and poised confidence made her a natural choice for glamorous screen roles. Producers recognized that she possessed the kind of sophisticated presence that fit perfectly within the world of international espionage stories. Playboy magazine soon featured Bach in a pictorial that reflected the public fascination with her growing celebrity. Readers were eager to learn more about the actress, who had captured attention through one of the most famous film franchises in history. The magazine highlighted her distinctive style and cosmopolitan personality. Bach continued appearing in films throughout the late 1970s and early 80s, while maintaining a strong connection to the fashion world. Yet her cultural influence expanded even further when she later married legendary musician Ringo Starr of the Beatles. Their relationship brought together two major figures from different corners of entertainment history. Although her acting career eventually slowed, Barbara Bach remained an enduring symbol of the glamorous international cinema that defined the Bond era. Her appearance in Playboy became part of that legacy. It represented a moment when film stars, magazine culture, and global celebrity intersected in ways that fascinated audiences around the world. These actresses were already famous when audiences discovered them on screen. Playboy simply revealed another dimension of their celebrity. The magazine became a mirror, reflecting changing attitudes about fame, glamour, and independence. Decades later, their appearances remain fascinating reminders of an era when Hollywood legends and media culture reshaped celebrity forever.